Hi guys, I'm Kesha. Welcome to the channel and welcome as always to our coffee times to discuss horror and books. So today I'm here to let you know some of the new releases for the month of November.
It's coffee time!
So as every month I have selected some horror releases for you guys. Unfortunately, I didn't feel like I found many interesting things for November. Maybe I just missed some of the releases, but I only have a list of 15 new books are coming out. So maybe you guys can help me out in the comments and let me know if there's any other one that I have missed. But anyways, I'm here to let you know about the 15 new horror releases. Let's start with today, the 1st of November. So the first one that I would like to talk to you about is called White Horse, and it is by Erica T. Worth. This is adult horror and this is also her debut novel. The main story is basically about an indigenous woman that is now being hunted by the spirit of her mother, and I believe that is through a bracelet that she finds. The tagline says, "Some people are haunted more ways than one." And I love the concept here because our main character sounds like me, heavy metal, ripped pants, and Stephen King, and I'm like, that's me. So Debbie, our main character, finds a bracelet that belongs to her mother, and apparently her mother's spirit is still attached to it. But apart from her mother's ghost still being attached to the bracelet, something else is also attached to it, something evil, some sort of monster that is going to hunt her. Debbie is going to go into a journey in which she will also discover what exactly happened to her mother. Now, this one sounds really interesting to me. I'm really excited about this one, also because I feel like I will be able to relate in a lot of ways to the main character. And I'm also excited to see what kind of evil entity is exactly trying to get her. Then we have Wednesday is Waiting by Donnie Goodman, which is also adult horror. And I think this is gonna be fun because it says that it follows an emo band, which is something that I've never read about before. So it is basically an emo band and they're trying to get away from their really basic, really small rural town, and they want to, kind of, come out as a big band. So I thought this concept alone is kind of cute. And the band ends up getting like a last minute gig that they decide to take because they obviously need the money. And we also follow an ex-con that is going to cross paths with the band, as far as I understand. And I guess that's when things are gonna go south. It is by the same author of The Razor Blades in My Head that I heard really good things about, even though I didn't read it. So if you read the other one and are, interested in the author, just know that there is something coming out just today. The next one is really interesting to me because it is new adult horror, but it is with queer characters and it is paranormal, so it sounds absolutely fantastic. And it's called Black Forest by Laramie Dean. So Nathan has always been hunted by some sort of creature that he thinks in a past life were humans, but now they're kind of more like vengeful spirits. So he decides to do a seance to kind of try to get rid of them, but obviously this seance goes really bad. And he thinks now changing from high school to college is gonna help him, but then young people from college start disappearing, so basically bad luck keeps following him. So Nathan, with the help of the mysterious Theo that he will meet in campus, are gonna try to find out where these kind of creatures come from, what they want, and where the missing people went. And another novel that has queer characters is Wicked Little Things by Justin Arnold, and this is YA horror. So Dane is 16 and he just came out, and now because his cousin died, is forced to return to his really small hometown. And living in a really small hometown is not gonna be easy for him because he has some sort of powers. So Dane is a witch, and Dane also thinks he is kind of responsible for his cousin's death. So this book is gonna, be centered around witches. So I'm really excited about it. I have not read a book about witches in some time, so I feel like this might be a potential must-read for me for the month of November. And as always, we do have some short horror compilations, and the first one is called A Different Darkness and Other Abominations by Luigi Mussolini. And like I said, these are horror short stories. So these are stories that have already been published, but they were published originally only in Italian. So now they have been translated and it's going to reach a lot more readers now. So if you're looking for some Italian horror, this might be the one for you. And if you love books based in London, this one is going to be for you. So we have here Enter the Darkness by Sarah Budd. So during spring solstice, 4 people enter the underground caves of London. They all have their own motives, their reasons for going there. They're hoping for something to change. And they're gonna have to face their own demons in order to get their wish granted. However, only one of the 4 is gonna come out alive. Now comes a really interesting one, and this is kind of like a Latin take on Aliens. So if you love the movie, if you're looking for some horror sci-fi, this might be perfect. So it is called Aliens by V. Castro, and this one is kind of taking some of the concepts from the movie but adapting it to a more down-to-earth that is a very interesting expression, talking about aliens, experience about an immigrant and their struggles. But this world is also kind of like a utopian world, kind of like a futuristic take on the world, so you can find some of those aspects and some of the more sci-fi things in this as well. And also the xenomorph is here, so I'm really excited about this one. I don't think I've ever read a book like this before, so I'm really excited. And we move on to more short horror stories. We have Breakable Things by Cassandra Claw. This is a debut novel of short stories, and they all kind of navigate between love and grief, and how basically our existence is mostly love and grief, which makes a lot of sense. And I would be really interesting to explore the concepts through the stories. And now let's go to some horror fantasy for those of you that are looking for something new. And we have Desert Creatures by Kay Chronister. We live in a world in which basically we are in a desert now, and our main character and her father were exiled from their town for where they come from, and now they find themselves alone in the desert. And our main character was only 9 when this happened, so she's used to fighting all her life for survival, and a lot of horrible things are going to happen throughout her journey. This will be a story of survival and the instincts that are trying to keep us alive no matter what, and also about a strong female that is trying to just fight and keep going. And next we have more supernatural horror. We have The Hollows by Daniel Church, and this is horror supernatural thriller. In a small village there is a one-in-a-lifetime snowstorm, and after the storm there is one guy that is found dead. Everybody thinks that he might have just gotten too drunk and then frozen to death, but soon they will start to figure out that there might have been other causes for his death. The dead man was holding a knife in his hands, and there is evidence that shows that he was hiding from someone or something. As the storm rises and the body count starts to pile up, our main character is gonna try to figure out what actually is going on here. Somebody might be using the storm as a cover for killing people. Next we have more horror fantasy. We have Into the Forest, Tales of the Baba Yaga, edited by Lindy Ryan. These are short horror fantasy stories, and I believe the prologue is written by Christina Henry on this one. And this is all around the mythology, about the legend of Baba Yaga. So it's going to be really interesting to see how every author kind of has their own interpretation on the story. The next one I'm really excited about because it's also a short horror story compilation, but it is by the same author, and that is by C.J. Tudor. I have read all of her novels so far and really enjoyed them, and this is the first time that she gets published short stories. It is called A Sliver of Darkness, and I'm really excited. I have already pre-ordered her new book that comes out in January 2023, so for now I will have to get her short horror stories. Then we have Rootwork by Tracy Cross, which is adult horror. We are in a small parish in Louisiana in 1889, and we follow the Rootwork sisters that after the school, when summer break comes, they are sent to spend some time with their hoodoo practitioner aunt. So their aunt is kind of respected but also feared by the people in town, and I'm really excited to see the relationship between the girls and the aunt. Also, I love that this is going to be a period piece and it's going to have some hoodoo magic in it. Yeah, really excited about this one. And now let's go to another sci-fi horror. We have Wayward by Chuck Wendig, and I still have to read something by him. I have this book of accidents, I think it was called, and I still have not read it. It's been on my TBR for like a year and I've been just meaning to read it. So, but now we get another one by him. So if you read the other one and enjoyed it, you might be super excited about his new release. 5 years ago, the majority of Americans kind of got some sort of sickness that would make them walk towards a destination that nobody knows where it was, and some of the family members and people that loved them decided to follow them, not knowing where the journey was going to take them. The secret destination is a small town that it was supposed to be like the last stand for civilization, because this kind of like sleepwalking epidemic was going to be the first thing from something much worse. So basically we have here a kind of end of the world scenario, and I do love me some end of the world movie or book. As with many of these end of the world scenarios, we're going to have a group of survivors here, and I don't know, I'm really excited to see where more of the sci-fi aspect of it is gonna come, if it's just going to be the epidemic or if it's going to be something more. And now let's go to another one that sounds absolutely fantastic, and that is The Spirit Phone by Arthur Shattuck O'Keefe. And this one is gonna be fun because it's kind of like a different take on Edison's discovering the phone in 1899. And the twist here is that he has developed a phone model that is able to allow people to communicate with the dead, I guess hence the name The Spirit Phone, and I'm absolutely down for it. Of course, it immediately reminded me of the black phone, but it's not the same concept in a way, but I'm really excited for this one. Alright you guys, so that was everything. Not so much to talk about for the month of November, but I do hope that you found something here that you're interested in or something that you didn't know about. Let me know down below, as I've mentioned before, anything that's coming out in November that I might have missed, because I feel like there's probably so much more that I didn't find for this month. So let me know in the comments down below. Let's help each other with more recommendations. Thank you guys as always so much for watching. Thank you so much for all the support, and I hope to see you all as always in our next coffee time. Bye.